Hello everybody, today is Friday, December 22nd. It's just a few days before Christmas, so I want to wish everyone a happy holidays from Blue Wave Trading. Also want to remind everybody that the price of the Auto Trader is going to increase to $49.95 on January 3rd. I'm going to give everybody a couple of days into the new year for those that will come to me 2 weeks later and say, hey, can I get that price from last year? So I'm going to extend this and not make it effective January 1st, but more like the 3rd of January. So it would behoove yourself to get a license before the year end if you're interested in saving $1,000. I will be gone on vacation from December 25th to about the 10th of January. So I will be checking my emails and we'll stay in touch with people, but there probably won't be any videos for, like I said, from December 25th to first week of January or so. Beyond that, we have a good video for you today. First of all, on my left is the time and sales. The E-mini S&P currently trading at 2686.50, and you can see 2:04 p.m. This is recorded in real time. This is not a market replay. You can see the trades ticking off, and you can check these prices on your charts, on a minute chart. First up is the DAX on the Super Renko 14 tick, and once again the DAX hitting its goal. This one has a goal of 2,000, so we actually had one tick of positive slippage. This is a familiar pattern that we've seen many times in the DAX. A long trade followed back to back by a short just like this, and it hits its goal. So I want to talk about setting goals. In my videos, I'm showing goals of $1,000 and $2,000, and these are pretty lofty goals for two contracts. If you have $100,000 in your account, it's not such a lofty goal. But if you have $10,000 or $15,000 in your account, let's just talk an amount of $10,000. A $2,000 goal is 10%. 10% every day. If you could earn 10% every day, Goldman Sachs would hire you and pay you $50 million a year. So with a smaller account, your goals should probably be smaller, and the probability of your goals getting hit is probably higher if you have a smaller goal. There's also the question of getting too greedy or aggressive in your trading, and the reason I want to mention that is I'm going to bring over another chart. Okay, so here's the DAX on the Super Renko 14 tick, and this is the one with the $5,000 goal. Now, this has hit its $5,000 goal a few times, but not enough for me to keep it that way. So, and I want to show you why. I'm going to change the daily goal on this. So here, we would have hit our goal of 2,000. You can see our equity high right here of 1857. Now certainly we would have got out of the trade here. We would have hit our goal up here had our goal been 2,000, and that's it. We would have been done trading. You can see our equity high at about 1826. The two contracts here, this many ticks, would have taken us out of the market for sure. This one has slightly different settings than this Super Renko. You can see it's different trades, so just slightly different settings here, giving us different trades. But the question of daily goals is, I believe the daily goal is too high on this. So you guys, when using the Auto Trader, daily goals is something you should really be paying attention to. And by starting flat every day, not looking at any historical trades, we can see where the equity high took place, what time. So another thing that I began to notice as I began to pay closer attention to the DAX is that the DAX doesn't need to trade beyond probably 7 a.m. in the morning. So let me show you what happened here. So you can see right now we're short 2 contracts, and closed P&L is 662, and we're in the red about $150 right now. So what happened after we made this equity high is we ran into some chop, and the DAX being as volatile as it is, we had 5 losing trades here, or 4 losing trades and 1 winning trade, and our equity curve just went down the toilet here. So selecting your daily goal is critical in being profitable every day or keeping your losses to a minimum. Select a daily goal that is of the highest probability, and that can only be learned by watching your chart and seeing where the equity high is and what time is the highest probability for trading to hit your daily goals. I've noticed a pattern in the DAX that typically after 7 in the morning U.S. time, Eastern time, the action becomes kind of sluggish, and that's at least until the open of the U.S. session, and then we get some increase in volume and participation. So there can be some trading there, but I believe the best trading in the DAX is from the open of the London session for the first 3 or 4 hours or so. Okay, next up is the DAX on a 150 tick chart. This is just a regular 150 tick chart, and we have a more modest goal on this chart of 1550, and we probably hit our goal here and then had some slippage at the end. The only time we use a market order is when we hit our daily goals. I do not use market orders on my entries. They're all limit orders. You can see the pullback here. So any of you that are following my videos and following my charts, pay close attention. Don't go off using things like a market order when I never use a market order. You're just going to get too much slippage, and the auto trader will take every single swing, and you really don't want that. There's going to be some days where it's beautiful, but then I think over the long term you're much better with limit orders. With a limit order, you're much closer to your stop out point. If this trade was wrong, a close above this little hash mark in the other direction would stop me out of the trade. Whereas if this was a market order, I would have entered down here, and then a close above this level would take me long if I was wrong, and I'd have a much, much bigger losing trade. Anyway, on this chart we have a more modest daily goal that makes more sense, and we've seen this quite a bit. Now again, talking about goals, let's look at the 150 tick chart of the DAX on the Heikin-Ashi chart. Okay, so this is the DAX on the 150 tick Heikin-Ashi, and so here's the open, and we hit an equity high of 1500 at least on these 2 trades, and had I had a more modest goal, that would have been it. But then what happened is I had a mixed bag of losers and winners, and drew down to a closed P&L of minus 500 or so on these losing trades, and now we're currently short with just a few ticks in the trade. So you can see how rich the DAX is. This is really just a few ticks on 2 contracts, and it's $125, $150. So it doesn't take much for the DAX to kind of gain this back. But again, note the pattern here of the drawdown. Well, on this chart, it was about 6 in the morning that we kind of hit this choppy action here. So 3 hours of trading in the DAX. But this was another example of, had I had a more modest goal of 1,000 or 1,500, I would have been out. Something else to consider is that if you're watching this and trading it live, there comes a point where you could change your daily goal in real time to where it's like, okay, I've had enough. And so you can go here to real-time settings, and then you can scroll down here, and you could actually change your loss limit. You know, let's say you were up 1,500, you could actually change your loss limit to 0, which would be break even. Or I'm not sure if a negative number here, like if we put in negative 500, if it would be a daily goal at plus 500. So I'm going to try that tomorrow. That might actually work. I'm not sure. But you can also change your daily goal so it stops trading. Or you can just hit the close position button and you can turn off automated trading like this. So if you're happy where you are at some point in the day, or you've reached a level and you run into a couple of losers, you can always turn off automation, and then that's it for the day. Okay, next up is the DAX on a 34-tick line break. Now I just realized on this chart I had this configured to start trading at 9 o'clock, and that's not my intention, although it ran up to an equity high. Another reason to keep close eye on your daily goals. Our equity high here was about $1,100, $1,200, and we had one loser here. So if I scroll back on the chart and we look at the swings from the London session, this chart probably would have done really well had I started trading at 3 a.m. These would have been some good trades here and probably would have done really well. So anyway, I changed the open of this chart to 3 a.m. In spite of itself, it's been doing good, basically trading the U.S. session. But again, I had a much higher equity high here, and it kind of fell off here. It's Friday, it's before the holidays, so it's a pleasant surprise that we have some good performers today, in spite of probably not a lot of volume in the markets today. So anyway, this did 887.50, still respectable, and this has been showing real well since we've been showing it. Okay, the E-mini S&P has had great volatility recently, and here we are in the 6 tick. We have a closed P&L of 475 and an open P&L of 225. If we get just a little bit more to the upside, we could hit our goal of $1,000. And I would venture to say that I think it's going to go that way. I think we'll probably rebound into the close, maybe a Santa Claus rally here. Just want to show that we got a split fill here. This could never occur in market replay. Only in real time can you get a split fill like this. Market replay will always fill you at the same price. Or a historical trade can never show a split fill. So anyway, this is looking pretty good. I think this is probably going to resolve to the upside before the day ends. Okay, this is looking pretty good as well. This is the Superenco 2-tick with a 4-tick higher time frame, and this is currently long 2 contracts and looking pretty good. Open P&L of 2.25. Okay, next up is our E-mini S&P on a Superenco 2-tick, and this has a closed P&L of 187.50 and an open P&L of 225. And I've been meaning to fix this trail stop here. We shouldn't be giving back so much here, so I really need to look at this and see if I can improve this. This has happened on a number of charts, and I just haven't got around to changing it yet. In spite of itself, it still had decent performance. Okay, so next up is the E-mini S&P on a Super Renko 6 tick that starts trading at 12:30 using the line break logic. So this one is also long. So if we can get some momentum to the upside, this will have a strong finish. Okay, I forgot to show this earlier. The DAX on a 150 tick line break chart had a couple of stellar trades. What I was saying before about the other 34 tick line break chart would have caught some of these swings. So here, this one did from the London Open and hit its goal in 2 back-to-back trades. We have a goal on this one of 1,500, and that was hit, and obviously had a tick of slippage. So again, line break showing strong, and you can see we have some split fills here. Okay, the E-mini S&P on a 1597 Heikin-Ashi chart has a closed P&L of 387 and an open P&L of 275 right now. So about $600, almost $700 P&L on this chart, and our goal on this one is, I believe, 1,000. So if we just get a little bit more upward momentum, I think there's a good chance of hitting its goal today. Okay, next up is the E-mini S&P on a 987 tick line break chart. We had a small loser right here. This isn't much. It only drew down about $100 or so. And then we had a small winner here, which gained some of it back. And then we're long from this 2685 level. And our open P&L is about $250 or so. So again, if this goes to the upside, this will have a strong close. That's all for today's video. I want to thank everyone for your support of Blue Wave Trading this year. Looking forward to next year. We should have Ninjatrader 8 sometime in February, perhaps sooner. If you purchase the Auto Trader, whether it's now or next year, your upgrade to Ninjatrader 8 will be at no charge. We have not had a price increase in probably 5 years, so this year will be our first price increase in a long time, coming in January. Thank you for watching today. Wishing you all a happy holiday.